Good morning, everyone. 8:34 a.m. Friday morning, October 4th. It's a paintbrush and a canvas. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna paint it black. I hope everyone's doing fine. Of course, I'm here and interested in my research of Comet Ison. I just did my morning review of what's been being talked about. I'm a busy boy, lots of farm work. We purchased 10 New Jersey milking cows, heifers, and those heifers are a handful. Last night, Mrs. Walsh and myself went to go see The Naked and Famous, and the opening band was The Colorist. Enjoyed it very well at the House of Blues in Houston. Small venue, intimate setting, cool. But on with Comet Ison, which this painting is going to be a painting of Comet Ison as it flies back past Mars. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But anyways, Comet Ison has now passed Mars, on its way in toward the Sun. It's going to come closest to the Sun on November 28th, some 680,000 miles away from the surface of the Sun, or I think the better way to say that is the corona of the Sun, because the Sun has a diameter and it has a radius to the center of the Sun, and you can measure its distance, i.e. the comet Ison, C/2012 S1 parentheses Ison. You can measure its distance from the center of the Sun, or you can measure it from the surface of the Sun. I like to use the measurements from the surface of the Sun, which is about 680,000 miles. But recently, as it passed Mars, there's an orbiting spacecraft around Mars that took some pictures of Comet Ison, and they must be the lousiest images I've seen. It's like, how do I say this? When I'm using robotic telescopes and I get a preview image, it's a little sometimes less resolute, not near as clear as the FITS files that contain all the real hard data of that picture. But I mean, no resolution. And I think somewhere in the article they used the word lackluster, and using those phrases together when compared with the images they're showing us, I don't, for anyone who doesn't understand what's going on at NASA, let me just tell you, I don't either. I don't pretend to know what goes on with NASA. Everyone has their views about what goes on at NASA. I have my views. I like to use their data because, let me tell you, their data, some of their data is important. I mean, the JPL Horizon site, Minor Planet Center, which isn't NASA, I don't know how you want me to say it, NASA, or NASA. I still use their data. I get coordinates from them. So some say, well, I remember during Comet Ellen, someone proposed that the coordinates were not real, and that if they were having us point our telescopes to places they wanted us to. Well, I suppose, but if they wanted us to point to a place in the sky they wanted us to, where they want us to point our telescopes, has interesting objects, and the objects that are out there end up right in the center of your image, and when they end up in the center of the image, that means the coordinates you retrieve for them are quite precise. And of course you can check the coordinates by going to places like nova.astrometry.net, upload your images. They could be just JPEGs, they don't have to be FITS images, and that site will plate solve, meaning they'll find the part of space that image was taken of by comparing the location of the stars. And all of this is kind of technical, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to use telescopes, you better know how to coordinate yourself with the part of the sky and the numbers to get to that part of the sky. You've been looking at the back of my head. Hey, look at that's a nice little, it's like an outline of myself. Is it an outline of myself? Almost. I fit right in there. So those images from the Mars orbiter, not Curiosity, not on the land, they came from a Mars orbiter, were did me no good, did us no good. And if they're going to use words like lackluster, etc., 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 I don't think, that's like saying it's going to be terrible. It's like taking one road or the other. If you're not willing to create your own path off a road that you're not happy with, I mean, people like us, then so be it. But when we're talking about information, science, that there is only one answer. There is only one answer, and there is only observation, and then a learning and an interpretation. But for me, it's always been, I'm an observer first, an interpreter of the observation second. And that's the only way to really be. So, Comet ISON, C2012S1. We're looking at our board here. We have our board with all sorts of stuff on it. Discovered Vital Nevsky and Artyom Novichonok. I said that wrong, Artyom. I'm very sorry. 3.1 miles in diameter. That equates to about 14 square miles of comet. Perihelion on the 28th of November, 0.12 AU equals 608,000 miles. On June 13th, I stated before estimation that the comet was producing 2.2 million pounds of CO2 dust a day. That's a lot. 2 degrees of Polaris on January 8th. 2014, 2 degrees. 10 degrees is about your fist. If you hold it out, your arm out, and you set your palm of your fist on the horizon, at the top of your fist up here, it's about 10 degrees. So if 2 degrees is going to be pretty close to Polaris when you think it's only about, 20% of your hand. And you get 20 degrees and 30 degrees and 40 degrees, etc., etc. They discovered it, with the ISON, and it stands for International Scientific Optical Network. Much like the networks that, not much like, but another robotic telescope network that people are using to view the skies. I'm going to get some paint on here. I'm not going to have enough black. Paint it black. I'm going to have to do, and I have to be careful because I have to keep certain areas lighter than the others. You may ask me, oh, Francis, do you know how to paint? I don't know if I know how to paint. You're going to have to tell me if I know how to paint. That's about how that goes. Today, regarding ISON, I haven't taken any new pictures because I haven't launched a plan. I haven't sat and spent enough time to do that. Now, that's bad on me. But I have been sharing a lot of information about it on Facebook, facebook.com/FuzzyWasHere, FuzzyWasHere. I'm using my phone to share. I share a lot of links that I find important, and I take pictures of things, and you might like that page, you might not. Much to do about nothing. I don't know. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting so that I can take another. Let me look at it this way. And this first time I looked at it, I took pictures in April. New Mexico T11. That's a plane wave. Really nice scope. Got nice pictures. I took a series of 1, 2, 3. maybe 4 on one day, and then a few days later I took another one. So I got the moving image in April 6th and 7th. Got moving images September 21st. So April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 5. I really can't wait that long, so we'll go 2.5. So September to October to November. Probably I'm going to be listening for when we lose Comet Ison to the sun again, and try to take a picture of it before it gets too close to the sun. Now, we may be able to see it as it gets to the sun. It's going to be hard to see. I don't know if solar telescopes will get to see it, or how we'll be able to gauge it. Hydrogen alpha wavelength filters, near infrared filters. I don't really quite know, but I know the reason why I was talking about Facebook is that I am connected with a lot of other astrophotographers, and I find that more and more these friends of mine are making fantastic photos. My photos are more black and whitish. Let's make sure that it's there where it's supposed to be for my own reference, and move on. But I have these friends who are fantastic astrophotographers who are taking pictures of the comet in color, and you can see those images when I share them. And I thank everyone. Damien Peach, Rolando Liguistri, and I probably say that wrong, Rolando. I'm sorry. Rolando's pictures are always bellissimo. And grazie to Rolando for those. And Damien Peach, and my friend Scott F. And we have more. My friend Ian Musgrave. We're all there. Is that a handful yet? I'm happy if I can get a handful of anything to agree on anything. Though I know I can get millions to agree on almost anything. I'm happy to get a handful of astronomers and astrophotographers to agree to at least look at the same thing. I could probably come down lower, use up all this black. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I should stop. These files are big, and it ends up making bad radio. So this is episode 2.1. I'm going to cut it short. Not cut it short. Let's see if I can make another one. See you in a bit.